What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz just after 11:30. East Coast outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Last trade on MULN 269 MCOM 0361. The obvious question of this happy hump day is, with housing starts jumping 12.3% and Goldman Sachs ratcheting up GDP to 4.7%, are we headed into a recession, or interest rates going higher from here? All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy hump day, right? MULN craps, MCOM cranks. Another day trader scored 18%, bought at 0326 yesterday, blowed it out at 0375 today. You have my permission to make it, take it. Before I get into some very important news with respect to our Discord, and of course review not only what's going on with MULN, but the possible dilution and big reverse split with MCOM, let me start off by stating the obvious. Over the course of the last 6 weeks, as we now have 300 members in our Discord and have doubled our business, I have really pushed the envelope with the Discord. Every fucking day, 2 or 3 haters, you're welcome to step in another time, has said, oh, you know, you're pretty good at what you do, but all you do is talk about your Discord. No shit. No shit. We were waiting for this day. We were waiting for 300 members inside of the Discord. We were waiting to get to a critical mass where we can pay our bills and then be super selective of the final 200 that come into the Discord over the next 3 months, because 500 people from all over the world are going to make a shit ton of fucking money in the next 10 years and beyond. Because despite what you hear on social media and the fake news right now today, we are in the third major secular bull market in U.S. history. The first one was from 1940, and as I said yesterday, from 1950 to 1968, one of the biggest 18-year ramps in history. The 10-year went from 5%, roughly where it is now, to 12.5%. So yes, it is possible, even though in the short term we're to have a slightly higher than normal interest rate environment when you've got 4.7, or what the Atlanta Fed just said is 5.4% GDP. But I get it. I get it. There's people not only in our Discord, but all over the world that are saying bullshit. We're not running at 4.7. We're not running at 5.4. Well, maybe not in your neck of the woods, but where I live in Atlanta, go out to any bar or restaurant on the weekend. It's packed. Go down to the fucking airport in Atlanta. You can barely breathe. It's so crowded. I'm telling you, right now, for the most part, the way they measure the GDP, we're at a minimum, in my opinion, of 3.5% to 4%. They're saying 4.5% to 5.5% or thereabouts. Now, I do believe we're in the process of, quote, slowing down a little bit. We had bad earnings and guidance from Tesla, terrible from Google, offset by very positive from Microsoft. However, the big 7, right? Those 7 names that are, I don't know, 40% of the concentration in the S&P, we're now down to 5 names. Get rid of Tesla, get rid of fucking Google. They're at the moment. Now, they'll regroup at some point in 2024, but this is very positive. The IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, which I have a big chunk of my money in, is at a 22-year low relative to the S&P 500. We're about to have what's called a reversion to the mean, in my opinion, meaning what's way oversold as we get out of exclusively 7 names and fund managers are forced to look elsewhere, aka small caps. We're going to have a big run. So yes, I stand by what I've been saying all week. The IWM for long-term buy and hold accounts for retirement, anywhere in the low to mid 160s where we are right now, and you may as well add TLT, Tom relative to interest rates. Do not pay more than 82 and change for the latter is a screaming buy. Right now is when you should be planting seeds. We just bought a biotech this morning. We're even money, let's call it. It's way all over the place, right? This fucking stock was 2.5. And no, if you're not in the Discord by way of trysmallbiz.com, from here on out, you'll never hear another fucking symbol other than MCOM. So if you haters think it was bad up until now because I kept pounding the table, it's going to get even worse, because the videos starting on Monday are going to be 7 or 8 minutes long. And it's going to be like I'm talking to only those that pay us to help promote their business and make money in the fucking stock market. In fact, if I could whittle my way down from 77,000 to 770 that really give a shit about what we're trying to accomplish, I'd be all for it. The IWM is not only at a 22-year low relative to the S&P, it's down 9% in the last 18 months. You've heard it a few too many times, I'm sure. 160 plus winners, 16 losses, 1,400%. Yeah, your fucking 10 grand would be worth 140,000. Take a look at the 7 stocks we own now. MCOM and MULN are pretty much the only 2 you ever hear of. 4 of them, even today, are flat or up. We got 2 biotechs that are flat to up. We got a networking play that's up. Pretty much the only big hickeys that we're dealing with in the last several months are MCOM and MULN, and you could have traded those, both of them. You could have bought MULN at 22 and change, or when I upgraded it from red to yellow at 24 and a half, blew it out at 32. Buy the fucking stock back in around a quarter right now, 26 and change tops for another run. You got people, oh, it's a MULN Philippine, it's a big scam. You had a fucking stock jump 50 or 60% in one damn day. It's given back in this shitty market with rising rates and terrible earnings guidance. It's given back half of what it made. But the fact that we've racked up 160 winners and currently have 7, or what I call the lucky 7, 4 of which are actually evened up, is a fucking miracle. Most people never make money in penny stocks, let alone have made a dime in the buy and hold camp over the last 18 months. So you're going to get your wish, haters. Instead of 4 or 5, 6 times a day telling you to go to trysmallbiz.com and get a Discord before it sells out, I'm only going to do it once, starting on Monday. In fact, this is my last long-form video of the week. I've got to do another 60-second YouTube short so we can email 10,000 people. But once we come back on Monday, it's going to be 7 or 8 minutes to the point. Here's what's going on. Here's your tip of the day inside of the Discord without naming any symbols. So if you think it's bad now, it's about to get worse if all you do is take. In closing, MULN, as I just said, classic 50% retrace. If you're trading the stock, you're buying it in and around a quarter to 26 and change, where it is right now for the most part. No higher than that. You're looking for what? You're looking for 33. You bottomed out at an all-time low. You had what I think was capitulation. Then you had a massive buy, whether it was short covering, whether it was part of the buyback. And to this day, I haven't heard a single word about that. Tell me in the comments below if you have. Or there's something that we're unaware of with respect to the lawsuit or some sort of alliance. I don't have any idea. I will say that some of the others like Canoe and a couple others of the mid-tier EV players, unlike Tesla, started to bounce yesterday and the day before. So I like the way that MULN's trading. I'm at $1.07. Yeah, I'm way underwater like most of you, but I see light at the end of the tunnel. If they can get that 6-month extension, you're looking at, let's say, 50 to $0.75 like that on the announcement. There'll be some make-it-take-it traders. It'll then vacillate and depend upon forward guidance. How much revenue are we going to book, to be precise, for this year and going into next? Is there anything in the form of alliances, major investors, institutional money, results from the lawsuit, perhaps a settlement instead of going all the way to court? Who knows? We have to wait and see. So if you're asking me as I sit here today, what are the odds that we get to $1 without a reverse split and regain compliance? 25%. If it gets anywhere up and near where I own it at $1.07, I'm pulling the ripcord on at least half of it to reassess. This, for most of us, was a massive 90% drawdown. It's currently, let's call it 65 or 70. If we can push up to $0.75 to $1, we got a tough decision to make. But I don't know about you. I'd like to have to grapple with that situation. And with respect to MCOM, look, he is trying to align himself with a hydrogen fuel cell / car company. But he's told you, as a result of even yesterday in some of his tweets that you may have not have seen, there's a proxy vote coming up on November the 13th. Inside of that proxy, and MULN's got one in December, he's asking for $300 million where they're maxed out now to $900 million, plus another $100 million of what's called B shares. And then a 1 for a 50 or 1 to 150 reverse split. So as some of you said to me yesterday when you were ready to jump out this fucking window at 03 1/4, when I said I'm staying tight and some of you bought and made a fortune overnight once again, we are banking on the fact, and I'll give you a 50% chance, that they get an extension from NASDAQ. But it's trading light up until today that that's not going to happen. So let's say it doesn't happen. He's either got to go to the pink sheets, OTC, or he's going to come out, in my opinion, with some fancy smancy story. Who knows? Maybe he does get some of this institutional investor money behind him that I've yet to see. And he's going to say, look, we need to reverse the stock. I'm not going to go as big as 1 for 50, which was in the proxy, but I'm going to go to say 1 for 50 to 1 to 75. And instead of going to 900 million, I may revise the proxy to 5 or 600 million or somewhere along those lines. Bottom line, he's going to tell you a fucking story. And you and I and anyone who owns the stock is going to have to make a decision. Do we get out now? Do we get out at a nickel to a dime? Do we get out at a dime plus? I don't have an answer right now, but you guessed it. If you're inside the Discord by way of trysmallbiz.com, I'll be able to keep you well informed. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember that I love you, and thanks for watching.